So I seem to have been snoozing on this one. How a tiny outback NT roadhouse went from Australia's UFO capital to abandoned motel. I didn't even know we had a UFO capital, and in the Northern Territory of all places. I would have thought that maybe UFOs would be more inclined to visit like Tasmania because its proximity to Antarctica. I sometimes think they come from Antarctica and will stop in at Tasmania to go on a supply run and then shoot back off to Antarctica. But anyway, let's see what this is all about. So this article's on ABC News. If you don't know, the Northern Territory is Australia's desert area. It's in the middle of Australia. Nobody lives out there. Oh, well, there is, but it's like a very small population. Australia is mainly populated on the east coast, and not many people in the Northern Territory. I've never been, I don't know. Anyway, along the 3,000 kilometre highway that connects the northern and southern tip of Australia sits a site once deemed the nation's UFO capital. Wow. Now it resembles a ghost town. Welcome to Wycliffe Well. Population 0. Wow. I wonder why it's a ghost town now. It's an abandoned petrol station, hey? So it's 375 kilometers north of Alice Springs. That's pretty remote from what I know of the geography of Australia. I'm Australian, I'm in Australia. If you don't know, you do now. So we're going to get some context here. The year was 1985, and former sailor with the Royal Australian Navy, Lou Farkas, was looking for a change. At the time, the small roadhouse still presented an opportunity for Mr. Farkas, his wife, and their 9-month-old son. Okay, so as the caravan park grew, Mr. Farkas said strange things started happening, and the past owners revealed to him there had been sightings of UFOs. That was back in 1985? Wow, I wonder why they like going to the desert. Maybe they have a base out there. The previous owner kept these sightings secret to ensure prospective buyers didn't get spooked. But when a journalist from the Tenant Times newspaper wrote a story about potential sightings in the late 1980s, everything changed. That was it. I mean, once that got out in the media afterwards, I was getting phone calls from all over the world and whatnot. A self-proclaimed skeptic of aliens, Mr. Farkas shifted the entire marketing of his business. Every aspect of Wycliffe Well had to become alien-oriented and space-oriented. Oh, so they kind of like turned it into like one of those novelty towns that become known for UFO sightings and people drive through there, I guess. From murals and souvenirs to a book ledger of so-called UFO sightings, Mr. Farkas even began doing tours at night for alien UFO enthusiasts. Dude, there were lights flashing around the sky doing crazy maneuvers that you just couldn't explain. The roadhouse grew and started to call itself the UFO capital of Australia. How come I've never heard of this? I wonder if there's videos. So after decades of running Wycliffe Well, Mr. Farkas sold his business to Anthony Ark van der Zalm in 2010. I totally butchered that name. I'm sorry. He too enjoyed the eccentricities of running a green oasis in the outback. It was a caravan park. It had motel rooms. It was a pub. That was handy. I want some juicy information. But after years working long days, he too opted to sell, this time to petrol station franchise United Petroleum. Does anyone use their fuel if you're Australian? I don't. He felt that when United took over took over control of the business, the appeal of the other worldly beings wasn't their focus. When they bought it, they wanted to know how much fuel I sold. That was it. They didn't really want to know much about anything else. That makes sense. They're a fuel company. United Petroleum has been contacted for comment. Yeah, it's a business. Like, they care about extraterrestrials walking around. Well, they're not actually walking around, but they might. They might walk amongst them. Oh no. The final straw for the intergalactic roadhouse came with a major flood event in 2022. The operators had to evacuate from the low-lying petrol station to safety. In the months after, as water receded, the site was left abandoned and fell victim to vandals. Alien statues decapitated, glasses broken, and walls stripped. I want to see some footage of some UFOs hovering around this area. I wonder if there is any. So Justin Harris manages Devil's Marbles Hotel, where Wycliffe Wells' then owners took refuge. The publican has managed venues for more than a decade across the country and said the difference between failure and success could often be small. There's not as much share to go around, so if you can take 2 or 3% off the bloke down the road, that's a big change. It's a very eerie place now. It's completely abandoned and it's such a shame. Okay, so maybe we should just all head down that way. Tourism Central Australia CEO Daniel Rochford said he hoped one day the site would be restored. The dollars out there for investment are not likely. They were, and so I'd be hopeful, but at this stage it is a difficult environment. But Mr. Van der Zalm doesn't believe there's much chance of it returning to its glory days. To have it destroyed is just heartbreaking, he said. Oh no. So I guess aliens are out. They don't want to go there anymore. Has anyone seen any aliens in Wycliffe Well? Let me see. Oh my gosh. Here's a video of Wycliffe Wells. Not even any photos of sightings. Alright, so Australia's only UFO roadhouse hotspot is closing down. But there's no alien footage that I could find, so I don't know where the aliens are going to go now. All this talk about UFO sightings from this hotspot, apparently, and a quick look on Google, and there is not one picture of a UFO craft or lights in the sky anywhere. So I think it's all hype. But if there's no footage of it on TikTok, it didn't happen. Anyway, that's it for now.